Good evening and welcome to the Public Global. Today we'll be discussing warrant against Adani while Breon peace resigns. What is this whole issue? Is we're going to discuss that. Tony Peace, who was inducted for Adani's allegations into bribing Indian officials by raising money through US bond market, 175 million dollars he had generated to bribe people in Andhra Pradesh, to bribe, governments in Jammu and Kashmir under Lieutenant Governor at that time when Jammu and Kashmir was Union territory, and three more states to secure power sale agreements to sell electricity at higher price so that he can recover his cost of putting in the solar projects which generates electricity through solar panels. This is the indictment that Brian Peace had filed as attorney of Brooklyn into the New York District Court, and the court had ordered a search warrant last year on Sagar Adani, on whose possession there were many electronic devices like mobile phones, data through computers, and other devices was captured where lot of money was paid to the government officials to secure power sale agreements in which electricity would be supplied to the state discoms and the cost would be recovered from consumers, which is the population. This was the allegation. Brooklyn US Attorney Brian Peace has to resign because Trump is returning on 20th of January as the new POTUS, which as the new president of United States of America. Biden had appointed him, and since Biden is leaving on 10th January before Trump takes office, Brian Peace has also been asked to resign. His case, he has many cases in which he had success in recovering money through companies who are bribing officials in third world countries while generating money through New York Stock Exchange, through bond markets, through various financial institution and instruments. And Peace, being a white collar crime attorney, was reporting such crimes and was taking prosecution till the last, till the last mile, and imposing fines and even collecting it for the US Stock Exchange Commission or through the US Treasury or the state government. Now, Peace, a 53-year-old native who belongs to Brooklyn, said in a statement on Wednesday that it has been an honor of a lifetime to serve as United States Attorney. He'll be replaced as head of the Brooklyn office, known as the Eastern District of New York, by First Assistant U.S. Attorney Caroline Pockerney, according to the statement. The statement has come last night, which says that he has been given marching orders by the Assistant U.S. Attorney. He was appointed by President Joe Biden in 2021 and will leave before President-elect Donald Trump takes office on January 20. So the question is whether it will be a relief for Adani. No. Why? Because the case is already with the Eastern District Stock Exchange, and the time for filing a reply to the Adani Group is till 30th of January. So if they file for prosecution, if they want to fight the prosecution, then the case will be admitted and subpoena notice is already served. And Adani also has an option of doing an out-of-court settlement. So what will happen if he makes an out-of-court settlement, as it happened in the case of Oracle Incorporation, as it happened in the case of Moog Incorporation, or it happened in the case of Abe Marle, where all these three companies were caught bribing Indian Railways official, caught bribing, Indian Oil Company, caught bribing Research and Development Organization of India. So 300% fine was paid. Like, for example, Oracle paid a net bribe of 6.8 million. He ended up paying more than $20 million as fines. Similarly, Abe Marle was charged $200 million fine. The other company, Abe Marle, was basically into crystals, making crystals for refineries, which refine crude oil. So since it wanted to basically take a contract from Indian Oil Company, it had also bribed Indian Oil Company's official, and because of which, when US got to know through books that they have been under-invoicing their services and taking out money to bribe these people. Similarly, Oracle Incorporation has been selling software to railways. So one such contract with the South Railways, it had wanted to back the contract, and they, through the Indian subsidiary, under invoiced their sale by 70% and used that money to bribe those officials. So they also had to pay 300% fine. So if we look at all fairness, the US indictment is for $265 million, which means that if you talk about Indian rupees, it boils down to about 2,200 crores, 2,029 crores to 2,022 crores, according to the exchange rate. So, in all fairness, if he pleads guilty and says that, okay, I would like to reach out of court settlement and I don't like to, fight the prosecution, then he will end up paying about 6,600 crore rupees or equivalent of dollars, which will be about $750 million. So he wanted to raise that money to bribe people. Now he'll have to pay that money to get the hooks off his shoulder. So life, karma comes a full circle. They say it for a reason, that now he'll end up bribing the same amount. He'll end up paying the same amount as he wanted to raise from the US bond market. During peace agreement, his office brought and won several big cases. I will let you know about those cases that he won. In August, former US Representative George Santos pleaded guilty to misusing campaign funds. In October, Genaro Gracia Luna, once Mexico's top public security official, got more than 38 years in prison for secretly providing protection to El Chapo. El Chapo and the Sinaloa drug cartel is a very sinister and a very dangerous drug cartel. He, as a public security official, was secretly providing protection to Al Chapo people. Kelly, R. Kelly, if you remember, a hip hop star, was also sentenced in 2022 to 30 years in prison for sex trafficking. This case was filed and fought as an attorney, Brooklyn attorney, by Brown Peace. Now, the Brooklyn officer also won major foreign bribery cases, as I said. The 2022 conviction of the former Goldman Sachs Group banker Roger Ng for his role in looting of Malaysian fund to the tune of 1 MDB. The August conviction of former Mozambique finance minister Manuel Chang for his role in a 2 billion fraud. This was also uncovered by Brian Peace. And the conviction in February of former Vital Group oil trader Javier Aguilar, who a jury found orchestrated a elaborate scheme to bribe Mexican and Ecuadorian officials. So these companies and these individuals have been indicted and have been brought to book. Either they have made settlements out of court or they have been punished through the prosecution. Under peace, the office also extracted financial penalties from companies. In March, European oil trader Gunvor Group Limited agreed to pay more than 600 million to resolve US and Swiss charge that it paid bribes to Ecuadorian government officials. The penalty was one of the biggest ever for a commodity trading company. So $660 million were paid by Gunvor Group Limited, an oil trading company, because it had paid bribes to the Ecuadorian officials to secure contracts. In October this year, RTX Corporation agreed to pay at least 300 million out of court settlement to settle a US criminal probe into illegal arms export. They were into illegal arm export. In 2023, UBS Group AG agreed to pay 1.44 billion to settle criminal and civil action to end long-running cases over US mortgage-backed securities, resolving one of the bank's largest outstanding legal issue as it integrates the acquisition of Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse was with First Boston, and it's one of the leading financial conglomerate in the European countries, including the British. So basically, UBS Group also agreed to pay out of court $1.44 billion to settle criminal and civil actions. Adani, head of the Adani Group, was indicted in November by Peace's office for allegedly defrauding US investors by concealing a bribery scheme to win Indian government contracts. Adani said last month he's working through the legal process to reconfirm our absolute commitment to world-class regulatory compliance. Whatever he may say, they have full record of the payments made to whichever officials in whichever states, all the data to the tune of 20 to 25 lakh rupee per megawatt or 50 crore minimum for a big project. If you remember, just before Maharashtra election, Adani had secured a 6.5 gigawatt 5.5 gigawatt solar energy sale project, and 1 gigawatt conventional energy. All this was done just before the Maharashtra election because it was not clear who's going to be coming back to the power. And now, as of yesterday, uh, Mumbai High Court has rejected a plea which was challenging Dharavi redevelopment project to Adani and his group, because the people from Dharavi say that this entire process, from day one, the tendering process was fudged. Conditions were created in order to suit Adani to take this on and cover his losses from the infrastructure project. Now he has to build a port at Colombo, and he's already called off his raising $553 million through USDFC. He's called off that because of the indictment, and now he'll have to arrange this money from his own sources. He's been taking a lot of government projects. He's been taking a lot of airports, ports, and also he's been taking a lot of coal projects, coal companies. He's been importing coal from Indonesia, and his Australian coal mine project is also under threat because the civil society groups in Australia are saying it's going to destroy the ecology and the wildlife of the area. Similar thing have happened in Hasdev in Chhattisgarh, where millions of trees were cut just to create a mining process for the coal. Similar things have been done in Telangana, Odisha. Supreme Court had ordered that coal mines will not be going into the private hands because they will not be respectful of the environment and the ecology and the fragile situation in the area. But then, in garb of giving, these thermal based, coal based projects to run electricity, companies which will generate electricity through coal. So these coal furnished conventional energy projects or electricity companies have been handed over to Adani, and in the garb of that, these coal mines in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Telangana are going to Adani, and Adani is basically going to cut trees. He's going to cut corners. He's not going to worry about the lives of the tribals or the the downtrodden people who are living there. He will not worry about the fauna, the animals, and the trees, and the ecology and the environment, because every clearance comes from the PMO, and he misuses them and basically tries to maximize his profit. So Peace had filed this case as a Brooklyn attorney in the New York District in the New York District, East District New York Court, and now he has less time to file. Let's see if Donald Trump swears in on 20th January. That's what Prime Minister Modi and Adani are counting, that maybe they'll get some breather from the new administration. It has to be seen whether they will get that. However, as far as Peace is concerned, he was a federal prosecutor in the Brooklyn office from 2000 to 2002, did a stint in the acting professor of law at New York University School of Law before returning in 2003 to Cleary Gottlieb, where he specialized in white collar criminal defense. In 2007, he became the first African American man elected partner at the firm. A New Delhi based digital news platform claims that POTUS, Joe Biden, who's the current president, will send a communique requesting India to extradite Modi to the USA. If this is true, the purpose of disruption of parliament and media management by deliberately making diversionary statements against Indian icons is clearly established. And this does not stop here. In America, if you see, Elon Musk owns SpaceX, Tesla, and X, is a major government contractor. Similarly, Adani in India is a major government contractor, and he works alongside Prime Minister Modi. And on December 9, if you see, when this news got broke, that Sagar Adani has been issued search warrants and had searched at his place, and lots of electronic devices were seized. The same information was not passed on to the Indian authorities, neither to SEBI, and Supreme Court was individually doing its own investigation into 25 cases of misappropriation, where it is being said that Adani was using his clout to secure contracts, to raise money through foreign financial institutions, and bribe government officials to secure these contracts. And that is why a lot of companies outside India think that in the infrastructure space, nobody can beat Adani because he has all the eyes, ears, and hands of the current BJP dispensation, which is under Modi rule. Now, if government helps Adani secure contracts through biased tender process, it's very easy for them to operate. And in my next, program on Tuesday, we're going to talk about how tender processes are rigged in order to give Adani a leverage to secure any tender process, whether it's providing provision of electricity, whether it's provision of coal to the state-run furnaces, or whether it is securing contracts for big real estate development like the Dharaviri development project, like the Radius State, like the HDIL, like the cement companies Ambuja and ACC, and now he's also taken over Sanghi, cement company in the Saurashtra region, and Penna cement company in the Andhra region, and he's consolidating his cement business because government spends a lot of money in the infrastructure space, and he's challenging Aditya Birla-led Ultratech Cement into a cement war, and we're going to be discussing that on Friday and on the coming Tuesday, and we're going to be discussing at length how these tendering processes are fudged, rigged to secure contracts for Adani. I hope you like our program. Please write in the comment box how we can make it better, and we will try and bring in latest news to you. I hope you enjoyed listening to me today, and I will look you back on Tuesday where I will bring you some new stories. Thank you. Have a good evening and good night.